blown away. I am honestly, utterly astounded. 81 degrees coming out the trans, 14 degrees going into the trans. That's a massive temperature differential across our transmission columns.
The big thing for me was when I went to WA, it was about 27 degrees ambient, and we had some undulating terrain, so I'm sitting around 90 kilometers per hour, manually shifting, just looking after the car while I'm towing. But the trans started flaring and clunking through the gears, and I was pretty concerned. You know, I thought, well, I said to my wife, we're going to have to go to a Ford dealership to see what's going on with the transmission. So the standard transcooler can't handle it, basically. So I was definitely on the hunt for a transcooler, and you know, outlet trans temps, I believe it to be around 90 degrees C. After the transcooler's done its work, it's returning 15 degrees C. So it's dropping the temperatures down immensely.
Wow.
So, which is going to save my trans servicing, because I'm servicing it every 40 at the moment. It's about $600 a service. So I'd like to think I can extend those service schedules out, maybe another 20,000.
I can't see why you can't.
Well, if the trans oil is coming out clean, you don't need to change it.
Exactly.
But I've noticed a marked improvement already. Well, we're planning to head up to Queensland this time next year.
Yep.
And so this is the whole reason why I guess I was prepared to invest in a HBD intercooler and transcooler.
Yep.
Because I've got no intentions of really selling the car anytime soon. I've got 155,000 Ks on it now.
Exactly, and it looks like 5,000 Ks inside, and under here it's such a clean car. It's a credit to you.
That I've still got intentions of using the car and towing heavy with the car, and I just want that reassurance that it's going to be reliable and not overheat, because I think over engine temps and trans temps is, you know, a detriment to the longevity of the vehicle.
Absolutely, everything. So we're going to swap out the original two-piece welded billet flange with the billet elbow welded together. Now we've got a one-piece billet elbow. So we're going to get rid of that one and fit this one on for Steve. So typically towing the caravan, it's very high, it's an off-road caravan. It would normally run somewhere around 7.5 to 18 litres to the 100. Yeah.
And on the way over there, it was bringing back around 15.5, 16s.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I've probably had a bit of a tailwind, so I'll give it a little bit of grace, but I think overall coming back with a headwind, it probably brought in around 7.5, so I'd probably dropped maybe a litre and a half. But it's just nicer to drive.
Your lad's had the PX2 for, would you say 2-3 years?
To about 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's had the HBD transcooler on it for probably a year and a half.
Right.
And he's towed some mountainous terrain around Tasmania.
And he's seen some benefits from that?
Oh, significant benefits, yeah. And he's done, like I said, Tasmania,
yep,
right up to WA, North WA, and he's come back to Adelaide, then back up to North Queensland.
Awesome.
So, and with a 23-foot, 2.8 tonne caravan.
That's getting up there.
So yeah, I asked him last night when he got home how everything was running with the car. He said, fantastic. With the 10-speed that I've got in this, which is versus the 6-speed in his, I noticed based off the performance of the transmission, towing, you know, sort of similar weights to what he was towing, the transmission definitely showed signs of overheating with flaring and clunking. And
this car, the PX3 10-speed 2-litre bi-turbo, that doesn't have any temperature display on the dash for the transmission temps, does it?
No,
which was a bit annoying for me during the testing. So we had to have the scan tool plugged in, but we were seeing, you know, in the 90s beforehand, and now with the trans temp on, so the transcooler on there, how does it compare?
Well, I've noticed a marked improvement. I mean, obviously we're not into those high ambient temperatures yet, but towing the van on the weekend, seamless shifting with the transmission, and it just changes like it should change. There's no flaring, there's no clunking, it's smooth shifting. So I've noticed, look, you know, like you said, I don't have temperatures on what the trans is running at, but you can definitely feel it by the seat of your pants that the trans is running smooth.
So even without knowing what the temperatures are, it feels better, shifts nicer, and it's just getting on with the job. Yeah,
and I've towed into some pretty heavy headwinds, and then when you come back in the Adelaide Hills, you're climbing a bit. So, but no, it held the gears beautifully and shifted smoothly.
And in our testing, we had the 2.2 tonne of sand in the back of the trailer behind this thing, and I was shifting manually down through the tunnels in the Adelaide Hills, and we noticed the trans temp when we turned around at Crowfers and came back down the hill. The trans temp was like 90 degrees from memory. By the time we got to the toll gate at the bottom of the hill at the flat, it was 98. So there's load on the transmission fluid, both underload and also engine braking, because it's still trying to contain that load and work the fluid. The Intercooler, we saw much reduced transmission temperatures on our test drive up the same path with the same load, 2.2 tonne of sand again. We were seeing out of the transmission coming towards the Intercooler, the scan tool showed, or the data logger, showed 90 degrees, and coming out of the transmission cooler back into the trans, obviously before it's mixed with the trans fluid again inside the trans, we were seeing anywhere between 15 to 20 degrees after the transmission cooler.
Drop.
Huge drop.
Yep.
So that's got to look after your transmission straight away there. That's not to say your transmission is operating on 20 degree fluid. No. It's still got to mix with the fluid
but it gives me the confidence and the reassurance that my car is performing to the best of its ability.
Absolutely.
The standard factory transcooler is way too small, insufficient.
It is.
It probably wouldn't be doing much at all, with anything.
I don't think so.
No, and running coolant through the factory transmission cooler, what's the point? You're running hot engine coolant through a trans cooler. It's just defeating the purpose.
Exactly right. Hot coolant to cool hot transmission fluid, I don't see how that is ever going to be successful. But with the intercooler on here as well, any noticeable gains and differences?
Yeah, I noticed it's smoother off the bottom. Like, it's just a little bit more torquey, just smoother, nicer to drive. And that's felt by the seat of your pants. You can't really measure that. You can't measure that. But towing the caravan up the hills, not killing it in the revs, just letting it lug through the gears, and it just feels nicer.
Excellent.
So there's definitely some gains from both parts. I must say, I'm a boilermaker welder by trade. I've worked fabricated aluminium myself. When I look at the build quality of high performance diesel equipment, it's right up there with the best. The welds, the CNC machining, the attention to detail with stuff you don't really see.
Exactly, and that's what we pride ourselves on. Not everyone's going to lift the bonnet and have a look at every detail, but they know it's there when they unpack the product and they say, this is amazing. It's good to get that reassurance from the customer that we're doing something that they like, but it's not only looks good, it's functional as well. So your car's not tuned in any way.
No.
It's got the pedal controller, but that doesn't affect the power. You've got the same setting before and after our gear going on.
I know if I did get a tune, that it would enhance it even more.
Absolutely.
And the intercooler would come into its own even more so.
So you're saying it's made these improvements and differences without a tune, just purely from standard intercooler to our intercooler, and you've got that added benefit of the extra torque down low and the towability.
You've got the reassurance too that you're not affecting the reliability.
Correct.
By add-ons. You're actually enhancing the reliability, which is what I'm all about. When you're towing across the hay plain and it's 40 degrees, I want that reassurance that the car is running seamlessly.
Exactly right.
And I'm definitely very confident at this point that with what I've got in this vehicle now, I can be rest assured that it's not going to overheat.
Exactly, you've done the right thing, and it's going to look after you for, see you out.
Fingers crossed. That's the plan.
Absolutely. All right, well thank you very much, Steve.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks for your attention to detail, and your workmanship is immense. So
perfect, no worries.
Appreciate it.
Anytime, thank you.
82 to 12 degrees.
Oh.
Wow. That's 70-degree difference there, mate.
Jump on our website to find your nearest stockist or dealer, or give us a call. We love having a chat.